Hi, this is Charles Hoskinson broadcasting live from rough and rugged Wyoming. A special edition episode. I figured I'd make it. See what you guys are all up to. Testing out these new fiber optic uplinks. Looks like I'm coming in clean. Unfortunately, I'm on the webcam microphone, so I hope I'm coming in loud and clear for you guys. The only thing I didn't buy for these amazing computers is a good microphone yet. So unfortunately, you're just going to have to bear with me. But it's good to be on, good to see what you guys are up to. And I always love these impromptu surprise events to talk to people. So what news items do we have of the day? What's happened today in crypto land? A lot of interesting things. Bridge hacks, to be expected. They occur all the time. Apparently threat of nuclear war, that's on the agenda. Go figure. Next 90 to 180 days, we'll see all about that. And all kinds of things in our industry. Markets are holding steady, but they're really fragile at the moment. They're not doing so well. And it remains to be seen whether they'll recover or things will come collapsing down. Oh no. But of course, the news item of the day for me is, as asked, I returned the Twitter handle to the Ethereum Classic community. And I did not port over all the users because that's what they really wanted. And I figured I'd probably elaborate a little bit more on the thought process behind it, but I like to get to your questions and comments and these types of things. So what happened? Well, as many of you know, I've been in that community for a long time, and it got to a point where the community had to make a decision of what they wanted to do, where they wanted to go. In my view, a decision was made that basically doomed the viability of the project. And that's evidenced by the chain volume, the amount of dApps, and the nature of the community and how they treat people. So I left, okay, but I still had this vestigial Twitter handle, and they asked for the Ethereum Classic Twitter handle back, which I said, sure, all right, you can have it back. And they now have it. The problem is that I didn't port the users over because I don't think it's ethical to go ahead and give those users to something that's becoming closer and closer to a scam. They're pushing this narrative that post-merge Ethereum Classic will rise like a phoenix, and all these people are going to make all this money and somehow, some way convince everybody to build on their platform. Okay. The Ethereum Foundation gave itself billions of dollars of pre-mine in order to build Ethereum. Ethereum Classic has $0 to build on Ethereum Classic. The community is unwilling or unable to contribute anything outside of voluntary donations. They have no network effect, and they're no longer technologically downstream of the Ethereum core project because Ethereum has moved to proof of stake. So no core developers, no money, no community, and yet somehow it's a good idea to hand them 600,000 people to broadcast every day about how they're all going to get rich now that the merge has happened. And all you got to do is just buy ETC and it's all going to be great. But I'm the sociopath for not having the courage to turn over those users there. No, I sent them to the spiritual successor of Bitcoin, which is Ergo. Ergo is building NEPA-POWs. Ergo is doing lots of really interesting things. There's no pre-mine with Ergo. The cryptocurrency had a fair distribution. It's not the child of an incident or an event or disagreement. It's a completely new ecosystem that is young and growing, and it really could use some marketing and advertising because I believe in it and I believe in the people there. And if I have to make a decision between saying to 600,000 people, do you go to the project that is trying to dump on them of people that are trying to exit, or do you go to the project that has a future? Give them to the project that has a future. You know, they disagree. And if they're so good at building a community, shouldn't it be very easy for them to build up a Twitter handle? Shouldn't that be something, huh? And that's 6 years that Bob seems to mention about all the hard work of building that community. Oh, it's part of that too. So it is what it is. And the internet always probably does what it does, which is complain and bitch and scream. And of course, no doubt you'll see lots of people in that community call me a sociopath, call me an evil person, and good riddance to those toxic assholes. Who has time for you? And that's the face you're putting on for the people who tried to help and tried to do things. It's who you are. And it's something you just offer to everybody there. Good luck. Have fun. I does not care anymore. Completely out of it. That was the last vestigial connection. And I'm very glad that it all worked out for everybody. They got their Twitter handle back. Ergo got a nice shot of marketing. Those 600,000 users, probably 580,000 of them are bots anyway, because I want to talk about that too. Now, many of you may have noticed a tweet that I had yesterday where I reported one of the Vitalik bot accounts. And it wasn't just any Vitalik bot account. It was a verified Vitalik bot account. So what happened was that someone hacked a verified account and changed the name and the face in the account to make it look like it was Vitalik Buterin. And then what they did is they used it to advertise a giveaway scam influenced by the merge. Now, I reported that account for impersonation. This is not a normal account. It's a verified account. So according to Twitter, as the blue check mark, the person in the picture, the name is that person. So according to Twitter, that account is Vitalik Buterin. Obviously, he's not, because the real Vitalik Buterin has millions of followers and it has a real account. So I report it, and then Twitter emails me back and says, we've decided this account doesn't violate our terms of service. I want to directly ask the people working at Twitter today, if you still have a job, since Elon Musk is taking over, and who the hell knows what's going to happen. But as long as you have it today under the existing regime, do you honestly feel, and the email's right there, I got it, I tweeted it, you can see it. Do you honestly feel that a person who, with a verified account, who pretends to be another person and attempts to do that to deceive people and steal money from them is a fair use of your platform? This is not an automated thing. This is not an algorithm. A human being had to make a judgment call on a reported account, and your team made the decision somehow, some way, that that's okay. And yet there's no problems. Every tweet now I have, at least half of the replies are bots. So 600,000 person account, how many of those are real people? Let's think about it. Probably not a lot. So everybody's so angry about what? That a bunch of bots got moved from one side of the tub to the other at the end of the rainbow. Got to think it through. Anyway, it is what it is, and this is the world we live in, a world of robots, a world of automation. And it's really sad that people can't be honest anymore. It's really sad that people can't do their jobs anymore. That said, there is a solution to this. And actually, I made a video not too long ago, about a year ago, give or take, and I addressed it to Jack Dorsey. And it introduced this idea of verified tweets. And I'd like to revisit it because I do think it's very important. So right when the administrative panel got hacked through an insider hack, and Joe Biden's account got compromised, and Obama's account got compromised, and anyone who was verified, their accounts got compromised. I made a video where I said, well, there's a very obvious and easy solution to this, where you could upload a DID to your Twitter account, a decentralized identifier. And obviously, because the private key is in your possession, not Twitter's, then you'd be in a situation where you can sign every tweet. So instead of having a verified account, you have a verified tweet. Now, what's so great about that scheme is that even if Twitter has a hack, which is what happened with that situation, or somebody creates a bot and overtakes an account and changes the picture, they cannot sign verified tweets. Only you, the key holder, can do that. It's a very simple, easy thing to do. And the DIDs, anybody can get one and go through KYC like they do in an exchange like Coinbase to create a verified account. So you create an open democratic system for people to verify. There's tons of companies like Identity Mind and others that are more than capable of doing this. And it's a small fee for people to pay to go through it. And then suddenly you have two-factor authentication for access. You can use the DID for access control, and you have verified tweets. Easy solution, and Atala Prism actually supports this. Hyperledger Indy supports this. Products from Microsoft support this. There's plenty of people in the DIF Foundation, the Digital Identity Foundation, that have products that would support this. And, Twitter could choose any of them. And it's interesting that there was almost no uptake in response to that, despite the fact that it's such an easy thing to do, and it adds so much power to Twitter. Because once you have DIDs, you can also introduce a namespace for payments, and then you can tip people. You can monetize. You can do all kinds of things. Creators and content people that can do stuff that's so easy. And therein lies, I think, the problem with this type of social media infrastructure. I don't think they actually have any incentive to solve the problem of bots. I think it's quite the opposite, that financial incentives are actually aligned for them to have as many bots as possible to inflate their user numbers so they can make as much advertising money as possible. And advertisers are selling basically ads to robots as opposed to human beings, which is pretty sad. And it gets back to that theme of the age of dishonesty. The honest people are dishonest and the dishonest people are honest. It's the world we live in, and it's what's happening. And it's what the cryptocurrency space at its core should be every day involved in trying to solve in one way or the other. Every day I see on Reddit, every day I see on Twitter, all these people running around, credible people, VCs, engineers, making claims that Cardano can only do 1 transaction per second, 1 transaction per block, no DeFi on Cardano. Meanwhile, our own community on our Reddit, they show transaction IDs where they do like 216 things in 1 transaction. Hundreds of users involved in 1 transaction, like 0.7 ADA for the fee. Not even 1 ADA for 200 plus events. And that's 1 transaction. You can batch lots of them together. That's a much higher TPS rate. But yet we see it every day. Is it picked up? Do people talk about it? No. Why? Because they're not incentivized to talk about it. That's the key. That's the key. So you always have to think this way. Why does the world behave the way it does? Why do things work the way it does? Because somebody is making money for it to work that way. And once you understand that, everything makes sense in that respect. So that is my preamble. And now I shall get to your questions. We'll do kind of an impromptu AMA. So let's see what you guys want.